I am Miranda, and I do not qualify for a credit card at Target. So my story isn't going to be a very glamorous story. There's going to be no cocaine, because poor people can't afford cocaine. There's no partying, and there's nothing really funny. It's a common story. I can't get a credit card at Target. So we'll start with my childhood, because you'd really like to hear about that. I'm from a place called Onondaga, which has no consonants, I swear, and it kind of like vomits out of your mouth. It's like, I'm from Onondaga. And it's not a good place. It's in Michigan. I point to it, but you should never go there. It has exactly one stop sign. It has a biker bar, and it has a gas station that before the smoking ban, you could smoke in the gas station. This is Onondaga. So I grew up in a large family. My parents had 6 kids within 8 years, which is madness in a lot of different ways. I grew up like a very Tom Sawyer-esque childhood. There may have been some torturing of frogs. I climbed out of trees. I ran through cornfields. I had dirt on my face, blah, blah, blah. But I was poor. And the thing about being poor when you're a kid is like you don't know that you're poor until someone tells you. So even before I found out that I was poor, like we were pretty smart little kids, and we'd get together. We had a kid council. And my older sister and I were like in charge of kid council. We'd pull together the kids, and we'd be like, overheard Mom and Dad talking. We don't have a lot of money this week. So Allison, if we go to Meijer and you ask for something, I swear to God, we are gonna kick the shit out of you. But we would say crap, because we were very good kids. And so we regulated ourselves. I knew that things were tight, but it didn't seem abnormal to me that they were tight. And it wasn't until I told a friend of mine, this is like 4th grade, her name was Melissa Janeway. I was like, man, we went to the coolest place last weekend. It was below a church, and the food there was so cheap. I got Cheese Whiz for 50 cents. We never got name brand things for like getting like an actual Cheese Whiz for 50 cents. And I was like, this place is awesome. It is the best store. And it wasn't until she told her mom, and her mom like started giving me things like, oh, you know, she's outgrown this, so why don't you take this? That I kind of figured out like, was that not a store? Maybe that was a different thing. And it took a little while to kind of realize that we were not wealthy. We weren't even middle class. We weren't even working class. We were like lower class. So we're gonna fast forward, you know, go through high school, all kinds of like poor kid hijinks, blah, blah, blah. Crappy cars, everything that happens. And then I graduate. I go to college, which is a big deal. My father did not graduate from college. And I had $647. It's a specific amount that I've like never forgotten, $647. And I've basically been independent ever since then. But it's because I was really good at being poor. So I lived in the Morton house. Like if you're not from Grand Rapids, let me describe the Morton house to you. The Morton house is the worst possible place for a 19-year-old girl to ever live. Roaches, 2 different species. The Germans are the worst because they're fast. I still now, when like things move, I dart. I have like this peripheral vision of like roaches in my life. 5 years of that. That was really great. It was really dangerous, and I paid $25 a month with utilities. So that's how I basically got through college. But that's also when I messed up. And we're not going to jump quite to that yet, because I'm going to talk a little bit about what poverty really feels like. So thinking about like how to describe to you, what is this about? Money to me is the enemy. It is the enemy. And it's not just like, oh, I'm having a slump right now. I really wish we had more money. Things are really tight. I'm talking about like Hatfield McCoy shit. Money has done nothing good for my family ever. My grandmother died 3 weeks ago. Her biggest regret in her entire life is that she had to drop out of school, 8th grade, to work the farm because they did not have any money. She wept and wept for days, and even at 90 and like on a lot of THC, she was like a little stoned. She glaucoma. She still remembered like the pain. So like that's what it did to my grandmother. And then my mother also has a sad story. This is like the opposite side. That was my father's and my mother's. So it's like both sides of like heritage fear of money. My mother, when she was growing up, had one pair of socks and they were red because she lived in southern Alabama, and red socks could hold the clay stains better. And every day she went to school and everyone made fun of her because Charlotte had one pair of socks, and she would say to them, but they're clean. I wash them every day, but it didn't quite matter. So when I talk about money as the enemy, money feels like it's literally killed people I know. It probably actually has killed people I know. Because all throughout my generational line on both sides, no one has ever had it. Now, I actually kind of do have it, but it doesn't matter because I hate it. I can see what it's doing to my parents. I know they have a double mortgage on their house. I don't know how they're ever going to retire. I see my siblings falling to it because it is the enemy. So if you think that money is the enemy, what are you going to be really bad at? You're going to be really bad at money. Because even in good times, money's not good. Good times are like, well, we have a little bit of money, so what we should do right now is just like spend it on something. We should buy a flat screen television because if we don't, if we wait too long, it's gonna go to the roof. We're gonna run out of propane over the winter. We're gonna be cold, but we've already been staying in one room and we've like rationed it as much as we can. Like you need to spend it on the one thing that's gonna make you happy. You're gonna go on vacation, you're gonna buy a TV, you're gonna buy a bunch of crap you don't want at Walmart and put it in your garage. Like that is the way. And truly told, I wish I had a garage. I put a lot of crap in it. I don't have a garage, I live in an apartment. So money is the enemy. And because I was never given the language, I can't speak the language, which is a really strange thing because my husband, who's not from a poor family, speaks it, and it's like he's speaking Spanish, and I just don't understand because I never inherited the language to understand what I'm supposed to do. So I can't qualify for a credit card at Target because my credit is so bad. It is so very, very bad. It's almost undescribably bad, which is really odd because I live a life that's quite glamorous for a lot of things. I go to galas, I go to fun things, yada, yada, yada. But when I go to Macy's and I buy that like BCBG dress, I'm like, looks awesome, and it was a gala, and they say, you know, you could save 20% if you got a card. There's a little part of me that just like little burst, like, but because I can't save 20% because I can never get a card. And I am pretending to be a middle-class person, but if you caught me off guard and you said, you're poor, I'd be like, yeah, totally poor. Like, I got nothing. So I got into debt. Now, if I told you what my debt was, it's gonna mess up the story. So my debt could be from me going to Banana Republic and like buying all the clothes. My debt could be from cancer, then you'd be like, oh, so sad. Not her fault. It could be student loans, and then half of you would be like, but then other half of you'd be like, so sad. Because like probably the younger half would be like, student loans are gonna kill us. Indentured servants. So you don't get to know what my debt is because it's not about your pity. It's not about how we treat people because of how they got into debt. It's the idea that debt can destroy you from the inside. I am perpetually stuck at a 23-year-old level. I can't qualify for a car. I can't get a credit card. Everything's in my husband's name because I am a liability. I am also an executive director. And those two things are really strange. And so you would think, well, I'm 31 now, I'm an adult, I'm taking charge of my life. I would still fuck up. Like I, if given the power, would still mess up. And it's only because I am married to a person who understands the language that it even works at all. Because I would have a garage, and I would put lots of shit in it. Like the Barbies I always wanted, all of the things. And so my failure is the fact that I am stuck at 23. And I'm not 23, and everybody else is passing me, and they're buying houses, and they're doing these things, and I've created an entire lifestyle to make up for the fact that I'm a failure. I love apartment living. Houses are just a bad investment. Lie. I love shopping at Goodwill, like, I'm so good at it. Lie. I lie, and I cater my life. You know what I really like? Walking to work every day, even in the winter. No! That is a lie. But I have made my personality to completely cover this failure, which I've never, ever expressed. I have created a person that hides an entire failure, and I have created a life to hide the fact that I don't qualify for a credit card at Target. Thank you.